Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So, update on the wall art. So most of you know I'm a veteran. My older brother's a veteran. My father's a veteran. Anyway, so my niece sent me this really lovely letter and picture. I'm looking for wall art. It is going to be the first up, and it's going to be the centerpiece. It brought a tear to my eye. I guess I'm getting soft in my old age, but don't get it twisted. I will put a round in you because, well, it's Sunday. So, without further ado, I'm going to title this one The Woke versus the Awakened. Because what you're seeing all across America is people are now awakening to what the liberals and the woke left are doing. They're seeing CRT in their kids' classes. They're seeing their kids put in vulnerable situations because on paper, it sounds good, right? Unified bathrooms in high schools. On paper, it sounds good if you don't think any further. Hey, let's let boys and girls use the same bathroom at an age where their hormones are running wild, right? Just crazy. So I wanted to share something with you today to show you it's not about race. Now, that's what people like Don Lemon, Joy Reid, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Brian Stelter, all these liberal, I wanted to say news people, but they're really not anything to do with the news at all. So to show you it's not about race, and I'm going to make this example before I even put on the video, right? And it's going to be a full screen video. Remember, in San Francisco and in LA, when Black people were attacking Asian people, Asian elderly people, and robbing them, that did not make the news. I guarantee you didn't see that on CNN, did you? No, y'all didn't. So let me tell you something. Damn, I'm becoming more and more country the longer I stay back here in my beloved state of Texas. But you didn't see that on CNN. Y'all didn't see none of that. Damn, that country accent is really coming out. But it was happening. But they didn't show that because it didn't fit their narrative. This is not Black versus white. It's not Blacks versus Asians. It's not white versus Asians. It's the woke versus the awakened. Because now I'm seeing so many people awaken to their bullshit. Look at Biden's favorability rating. It's in the dumps. The lowest of any president ever, except maybe Jimmy Carter. It's so low, you need a shovel to get down there and take a look at it. Let me play this video for you.
She came to the U.S. with only $100 in her pocket.
From Fox News Weekends, really good show. I suggest you watch it.
Our next guest says, "No, I won't go home," in response to critics on the far left, who she says actually reject all immigrants who don't accept their ideology. That legal immigrant, Helen Raleigh, joins us now with more. Helen, thank you so much for being with us. You came, as was mentioned, from China 25 years ago, with $100 in your pocket and a dream to be an American. Yet still today, we're seeing examples of folks on the left saying, no, we just want certain types of immigrants. Explain your op-ed.
Thank you for having me, Pete. Yes, it's so disappointing that the woke left, they profess they love immigrants, but they only want the immigrants who agree with their ideology. For immigrants like me who reject their ideology, they have nothing but disdain. Some of them call us white supremacists, some call us parasite and tell us to go home because we disagree with them politically, and that's very disappointing. So I have a message for them, which is, I'm not going anywhere because the United States is my home. I'm a naturalized citizen. This is my home.
Well said. Well, one of those people that you're referring to, her name is Melinda Byerly. She's the CEO of Fiddlehead, Silicon Valley Tech. And here's a couple of tweets that she had. saying, Peter Thiel, Vinod Khosla, the list goes on. Just take your money and go. Stop trying to turn America into a caste apartheid system you came from. And another one, my advice to other states and countries is don't let these parasites gain a foothold in your area. Tax the living bleep out of them and see them for what they are, script miners who will not rest until they ruin everything. She since apologized a few days later, but this mindset is, we don't want freedom-seeking people coming to America?
Yeah, and it's so disappointing because she actually professed in her profile that she's a diversity champion. She has her pronouns listed. She's all about diversity and inclusion. But that's what we expect nowadays from the far left, the woke left, that they say they want diversity and inclusion, but they only want the people think like them, and they don't want us to have independent thinking. They don't want us to have the freedom of expression. When we immigrants want to speak up and share a different ideology, profess our political beliefs, and they want to shut us down and tell us to go home.
Well, isn't it also that immigrants like yourself have the perspective of where they came from, that first generation feel, a recognition of what tyranny really looks like?
Exactly. The left always talk about, we should do things based on people's living experiences. Guess what? We have first hand of living experiences of living under socialist policies. That's why we want to see lower taxes. We reject expensive welfare state because we lived in those socialist policies before. We see how those policies ruin the people's life and lower people's living standards.
Yep, and then you vote that way, and that's the problem the left has. Even to this day, as we talked about earlier, with immigrants coming from Cuba or Venezuela, fleeing socialism for freedom. Helen Raleigh, thank you so much for writing the piece.
Do you see what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen? The woke.
Coming on this morning, we appreciate it.
The liberals are a lot more racist
Thank you.
than anybody will admit. I told you they're racist. The Asians are seeing it. Some Black people see it. Hold up.
Take it till you make it. That's the new motto of the left wing of America. Because in 2021,
when you say you're woke and you believe in no racism and you tell a Asian person to go back home, you call them parasites. It doesn't matter if you apologize a couple of days later. Your true thoughts have come out. Your true agenda has come out. Look what they do to Black people like Candace Owens, the new lieutenant governor of Virginia. Good for her, good for her. But they call him Larry Elder, the black face of white supremacy. They want you to think it's about race. It's not. If you don't buy into their ideologies, if you don't want your 14-year-old girl using the bathroom with a 14-year-old boy, guess what? You're a racist. I saw an article this morning, and I saw a YouTube video, and it was over on a Black conservative perspective. Great YouTube channel. I recommend you watch it. We pretty much do the same thing. Hopefully we can collaborate here in the future. Apparently now, and I'm not going to do a video on it. He did a great video, so I'm not going to do it. Apparently now, if men won't date trans women who used to be men, were transphobic. Okay. Look at the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. They tried to make it about race. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't shoot not one Black person. He shot 3 white convicted criminals, one of which shouldn't have even had a gun, none of which should have been there because they should have still been in jail. It's not about race, but they use race because the Black community, some of the Black community, are easily upset by it. It's like, oh my God, they're racist. And they go out and just do ignorant shit. If you're a Black person and you think Black Lives Matter cares about you, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Hand me your Black card, because that's what we're going to start doing to the ignorant Blacks. And I want this. I don't have the viewership for it. But if you're on another Black conservative channel and you can share videos with them, share this video. We are the awakened. It's not about race. We realize it's not about race. It's about tying up an entire country. So when are we going to stop it? I don't know. But I wanted you to see that, to show you this has nothing to do with race. People should have got that from the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I told you, I was so disappointed when I saw Black women talking about Chucks and Pearls with Kamala Harris. This is a woman who kept Black men on death row knowing they were innocent when she was a prosecutor and a district attorney. Think about that. She kept them in prison for free labor to fight fires and all kind of bullshit in California, knowing they were innocent. This Black woman didn't, actually, she's not Black, she's Jamaican and white. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about the culture. She doesn't care about the community. This is a woman who locked Black men up for several years for smoking weed. And then she goes on, what's the fake Black guy's name? The radio show host. I hate his ass too. I smoked weed while listening to Biggie and Tupac. Only problem was she graduated, or she said she was in college when she did it. She graduated college before Tupac had even made a song. Biden has already told you where you belong. He said, if you don't know whether to vote for me or Trump, you're not Black. And look at the Asian community. My nephew, Peter, he's Asian. Half Korean, half Filipino. Full Korean. Anyway. Actually, he's full Filipino, but he is considered white by his school district. Think about that. Asians are now white because they were outdoing white kids and Black kids. And, you know, if you look inside of an Asian household, education is the most important thing. It should be in all households. Apparently, in the ghetto community, and when I say ghetto, I don't just mean Black. We all know ghetto white people. We all know ghetto Mexicans, ghetto Asians. Damn, we really do. Damn, that's something. Anyway, but if you want your child to have upward mobility, education is the thing. But the woke doesn't. They don't want that. I'm telling you, these Nazis, they just want to control your kid. But I hope you saw that. I hope you listened to it. I hope you understand this fight isn't about Black, white, Asian, Mexican, or anything in between. This fight is about those who share the liberal narrative, the woke, versus those who don't want their kids taken advantage of, those who are not going to be mandated shit, those that want to keep their Second Amendment rights, those that want free speech, the awakened. The awakened. We are now the awakened. It's the woke versus the awakened. And if they want to go, let's get it, people. We can no longer give quarter. We can no longer stand down. We're going to have to fight. And if somebody wants to bring it to them. Like, subscribe, share. And as always, hold up here. As always, like, subscribe, share, and as always, especially in these days and times, remember, the woke versus the awakened. Riots are coming. Be prepared. Do what you got to do.